This is really physically demanding.
No, it is extremely difficult. Just one, not only physically, but also mentally staying in it as Clark gets that big.
Can anyone stop Caitlin Clark? In her latest showdown against the Phoenix Mercury, Clark not only led the Indiana Fever to another win, but also broke WNBA records once held by the game's legends.
Caitlin Clark is coming.
With the roar of a sold-out Gainbridge Fieldhouse behind her, is it time to crown Caitlin Clark as one of the brightest stars in women's basketball? Before we get into it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA season with higher expectations than any rookie in recent memory. Selected as the first overall pick, not only was she expected to lead the Indiana Fever out of a 7-year playoff drought, but the fate of the WNBA itself was put on her shoulders after sparking a rapid increase in women's basketball popularity at the college level. At times, it seems like too much has been asked of the 22-year-old from Iowa, but her achievements so far are nothing short of spectacular. Clark left Iowa as the all-time leading scorer in NCAA Division I basketball for both men and women.
This for college basketball history. She does it with a foul shot. Caitlin Clark becomes the all-time leading scorer in major college basketball history.
Currently, Clark leads the WNBA in assists, averaging 8.3 assists per game, and has created a league-high 1,012 points via points and assists. Indiana has already matched last season's win total and is tied for the 4th most victories in the league since the start of July. Clark has also made her mark on the league's record books. Nearly 3/4 into her rookie season, it's fair to say she is putting together one of the best debut seasons in WNBA history, especially from the guard position, making her a top contender for Rookie of the Year. Despite Clark's rising fame, veteran WNBA player Diana Taurasi remains unconvinced by the rookie's hype. The beef, if it can be called that, between Taurasi and Clark dates back to Iowa's Final Four game against UConn in April. On the Bird and Taurasi show, Taurasi bluntly stated that if Paige Buchers and Clark were in the same draft class, she'd pick Buchers as the #1 overall choice without hesitation. Taurasi was just so vehement in her decision to take Buchers over Clark. There wasn't even any discussion.
I could make an argument for Paige.
I'm taking Paige. Next question.
So if you had the #1 pick this year, you would take Paige over Caitlin?
Absolutely.
I like that energy.
Taurasi's firm stance, considering all that Clark has accomplished, was undeniably bold. Even Sue Bird appeared surprised by her response. The show continued with the semifinals between NC State and South Carolina. At the end of the game, a fan posed a question about whether Clark would shoot logo threes under UConn coach Gino Auriemma.
Sydney Verde wants to know, if Caitlin Clark played for Gino, would he let her shoot logo threes?
Should I answer that?
Go ahead.
Hell no.
Okay.
Taurasi's answer, though humorous, was an honest reflection of her view and not intended as a slight against Clark. Still, plenty of people didn't take it that way. Now here's the big one that's got everyone talking. A day before the championship matchup between Iowa and South Carolina, Taurasi was asked about what the WNBA had in store for incoming rookies like Clark and South Carolina's Camila Cardoso.
Reality is coming.
Okay.
You know, there's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you know, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
That statement sparked a lot of fan backlash, with some accusing Taurasi of hating on and being jealous of Clark. She seemed to downplay Clark's abilities, implying that her game might not be as impressive or effective in the WNBA. Taurasi didn't stop there, appearing to stand by her comments soon after.
Yeah, you know, it's the new fans are really sensitive these days. You can't say anything.
Taurasi's remarks and actions have added fuel to a growing rivalry.
She was one of the first that I really knew about and supported and, you know, idolized and wanted to be like. And, you know, I just admired the way she played the game and the fire that she played with. And like I said yesterday, like, it's impressive at she's still able to play this game at such a high level and produce like the way she does. Like it's incredible. I think she's obviously the best scorer our game has ever seen and one of the best players our game has ever seen.
Particularly since Clark had idolized her growing up. Imagine how Clark must have felt when Taurasi never reached out with any words of encouragement or advice after she was drafted into the WNBA, a gesture that might typically be expected from a veteran player toward an emerging star. Caitlin chose not to respond publicly to anything Taurasi said about her. Instead, she let her performance on the court do the talking, leading her team to victory in both matchups against Diana's Mercury earlier this season. But just as the Olympic break ended, all attention shifted back to the WNBA battle, the GOAT versus the Rook. Before the game, Phoenix's social media team trolled Caitlin Clark with a TikTok video, claiming they'd choose the 6-time gold medalist over her any day.
I miss the WNBA. Caitlin, where are you? Who's Caitlin? I'm here for Taurasi.
It's August 16th, 2024, a full house at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Fans from all over the country have traveled miles to be here, eager to witness what could be the final showdown between Clark and Taurasi. As tip-off approaches, the anticipation intensifies. On one side, Clark, the 22-year-old rising star, is poised to complete a 3-game regular season sweep. On the other, Taurasi, the experienced veteran, is fighting to reclaim her pride and preserve her legacy. The big question, will Clark seal the sweep or will Taurasi stage one last comeback? The game started with Caitlin Clark dominating early, hitting a 3-pointer off a screen and then adding a tough and one to extend the Fever's lead. Despite a valiant effort from Diana Taurasi to keep the Mercury competitive, Clark's stellar performance continued with another and one. Diana couldn't hide her frustration as she was hit with a technical foul following a heated argument with the officials over a call on her teammate Brittany Griner. The Fever maintained control, with Clark's sharp shooting growing their lead to 19 points. Kalia Copper's buzzer beater trimmed the deficit to 33-16 as the first quarter ended.
Kalia Copper beats that first quarter buzzer.
The Mercury needed a boost early in the second quarter, and Brittany Griner's free throws helped them make a push. However, Clark responded with another 3-pointer and continued to assist her teammates Nalissa Smith and Kelsey Mitchell. She scored 16 points and dished out 4 assists in just the first 13 minutes. The Fever's lead briefly grew to 28 points before the Mercury fought back with key shots from Diana Taurasi and Natasha Cloud. Despite this, the Fever led by 17 at halftime. Phoenix came out strong, with Kalia Copper and Brittany Griner leading the charge. 3 minutes into the third quarter, they managed to narrow the Fever's lead to just 9 points. A back and forth followed, with Clark and Mitchell hitting crucial shots to maintain Indiana's edge. The game became intensely competitive, with the Mercury briefly taking a 1-point lead before Lexi Hull and Caitlin Clark's efforts put the Fever back in control. A 12-3 run to close the period, capped by a buzzer-beating 3-pointer from Katie Lou Samuelson, gave the Fever a 73-65 lead by the end of the quarter. Clark opened the final period with another 3-pointer, and despite the Mercury's attempts to close the gap, Clark and Mitchell continued to perform. Griner's technical foul and Clark's assist to Aaliyah Boston proved costly for the Mercury. Clark's crucial late-game plays, including a key layup and assist, secured a 98-89 Fever win as they fended off Phoenix's comeback attempt. In the closing minutes of the game, Clark and Taurasi shared a cool exchange where the Mercury veteran gave a side hug to the Fever rookie.
First time in franchise history, Fever have beaten the Mercury for 3 times in the regular season.
The mutual respect between them gave WNBA fans one of the most iconic photos of the season. Could it be the last time these two face off in their careers? The Mercury and Fever aren't scheduled to play each other again in the regular season, and it would take some surprising results in the postseason for them to meet in the WNBA playoffs. Given that Taurasi is 42 and may be retiring this year, it might be their final encounter. If so, Clark and the Fever got the last laugh against Taurasi and the Mercury. Everyone should know who Caitlin Clark is now. She led Indiana to a clean 3-0 sweep over Phoenix this season. A masterful performance from the rookie, exploding for 29 points, 10 assists, and 5 rebounds while shooting an efficient 50% from the field. The show Clark was putting on was appreciated by seemingly everyone inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse, especially Indiana Pacers point guard Tyrese Halliburton. Clark didn't do it alone. The Fever's other 2 All-Stars were also instrumental in the victory. Kelsey Mitchell matched her season high with 28 points points on 11 of 22 shooting, including several key baskets that kept Phoenix at bay, while Aaliyah Boston posted 14 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists. Despite the pressure Indiana faced in the second half, Clark and Mitchell delivered in the clutch. Meanwhile, Diana Taurasi struggled big time to make an impact in this game, especially when compared to the standout performance from Clark. Known for her clutch play, Taurasi found herself unable to slow down Clark or capitalize on key moments. She finished with 16 points on subpar shooting percentages, 38% from the field and 30% from beyond the arc. Taurasi's earlier dismissive comments about Clark's abilities seemed increasingly unfounded as the game progressed. Clark's standout performance may well be remembered as a defining moment in her career, marking when she truly found her groove in the WNBA. In a remarkable feat, Clark has broken Diana Taurasi's rookie record for the most games with at least 25 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. Taurasi set this benchmark in 2004 with 3 games, but Clark has now surpassed it with 4 such performances in her rookie season. The 22-year-old point guard has also made history with her exceptional scoring and playmaking abilities. Clark became the first player in WNBA history to record 50 or more points and 25 or more assists over any 2-game span. In her last 2 games, Clark has accumulated an impressive 53 points and 29 assists, contributing to 62% of her team's points through either scoring or assists. This achievement highlights her central role in Indiana's offense. Clark's scorching hot streak continues, with her performance against the Mercury marking her 9th game of the season with at least 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. This is the second highest total in a single season in WNBA history, rookie or otherwise. For the season, Caitlin is averaging 17.1 points and 8.2 assists per game. However, her recent games have seen her numbers rise significantly, with averages of 23 points and 12.3 assists over her last 6 games. In a final historic achievement, Clark became the first player to accumulate 450 points and 200 assists over a 27-game span, breaking a record previously held by legend Diana Taurasi. Clark's standout performance and clutch play were crucial to the Fever's win, cementing her status as a key player in the league. This win marked the first time in franchise history that the Fever had swept the season series against the Mercury, a significant achievement for the young team. The Fever moved a step closer to playoff contention, a remarkable turnaround for a team that had been struggling just 2 years ago, and just like that, we've witnessed the beginning of a new era in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark hasn't just met the expectations, she's redefined them, setting the stage for what's to come. From the moment she entered the league, there were questions about how she would handle the pressure of professional basketball, especially going up against legends like Diana Taurasi. But after just a few months, it's clear Clark is not only holding her own, she's making a statement. But here's the real question: has the rising star truly given Diana Taurasi a reality check? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.